Hi there, Vibe Gardeners. Welcome to another episode of Vibe Gardening Informed Edition. We're going to go into our first cooking edition, and we're going to talk about how to make a lemon Mediterranean herb marinade for smoking chicken. Now, with that said, let's go. Now, if you guys remember in my 1 year anniversary video, I talked about I'm going to be developing a bunch of series of videos about how to cook using the food I'm producing here, as in food is my primary inspiration for gardening in the first place. So we're going to start off with using my Mediterranean herb garden, and then we're going to talk about how we can use that to make a marinade for smoked chicken that's actually going to make it less carcinogenic, as well as adding a lot of really awesome flavors to make the chicken really come out perfectly. Now we're going to talk a little bit about how the ingredients help with that aspect of reducing the risk of health effects of smoking chicken. And then we're going to talk about how to use the herbs in our garden and then make a pretty traditional marinade to make the smoking work. And some of the tips of how to smoke properly to reduce your health risk while still producing a very delicious smoked chicken. Now with that said, here we go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the chemicals and health effects of smoked meat. So now I finally got into smoking this year, and one of the things I noticed is that when you smoke meat, there are primarily two chemicals that are really considered carcinogens, which I'm not really going to get into the full name of them. I'm going to give you the acronyms for it because it's a gardening with a little bit of cooking channel, not a full health channel. So you can do your own research, but the two are HCA and PAH, I believe. I'll definitely link those terms below for you to look at. And the main purpose of having these, I'm going to go into the herbs here that I'm going to use, but the herbs really for Mediterranean herbs and the acidic property of lemon juice we're going to use is really going to be able to take a bite out of those, at least HCA. So again, I'm going to go into the recipe a little bit, but this is kind of what it helps with. And there's quite a bit of documentation on there on HCA at least. Now for PAH, I'm not sure there's as much strong evidence. So the marinade should be able to help during the smoking process. And again, for smoking, what you really want to do is you want to make sure you're smoking it using proper technique, because I'm going to be, as you'll see in a minute, I'm using my Weber Kettle grill, using charcoal and hickory wood chunks. The thing that you got to make sure is that you're going to be using indirect heat to reduce the amount of black crisping of any of the meat that you consume, because the blackening itself is what's making it really carcinogenic, and we're going to be avoiding those, as also I think it takes away from the flavor of the actual meat. So we're going to get into that in a minute, but first let's go over the recipe. It's going to be quite basic. I'm going to give you a ballpark number in the screen after I say this out. But the reality here is I'm going to be basically using lemon juice, some olive oil, salt, pepper, now coarse pepper, garlic, and I'm going to use rosemary, some of my sage, and going to use my oregano here. And those really will both help the flavor and give you that health benefit. All right, so now we're going to be harvesting some oregano, and since it's kind of really just 2 tablespoons or teaspoons, we're going to just wing it. We're going to basically just chop off some of the top growth here and let it basically spang out, because if you cut it from the top node, you're going to be able to get it to essentially what's called start growing out as a bush as opposed to going up vertically. So that should be good for now. All right, so this is kind of like the Elysium jungle that Indiana Funny Farm kind of, well, inadvertently told me to do. So again, we're going to be going for about 2 teaspoons or so. So I'm going to basically just promote the rosemary to go upwards. So I'm going to basically get it from one of the leaf nodes and cut it. Don't know if that's going to be enough, but it's a strong flavor, so this should help out. And the final thing I have here, a bunch of sage here. I kind of just basically can come here and essentially just grab a few leaves, and then we can basically mince them into the 2 teaspoons that we are looking for. And I'm actually probably shouldn't be getting from the same branch here. And yeah, just one more and we're probably good. If I don't lose it. And so here we have it. Rosemary, oregano, and sage. Alright guys, so now we have harvested our herbs as you saw from previous clip. And I have these garlic that we harvested from the garlic in container episode. We're going to start making our mix by first mincing the garlic. Okay, now that we got the garlic minced, we can start mincing these herbs together in one piece. Alright, so now that we've minced all the herbs with the minced garlic, we don't have to make them very fine. We just have to make sure that they're going to be small enough to be able to rub onto the chicken while you're getting on there. And now we can basically grind in the salt and the pepper. Now that we got our salt and pepper in, we can now start pouring some of our lemon juice and olive oil. And now we just do a little stirring and put it on the chicken. Alright, so now we're back with the chicken. So the best thing is to take the chicken out, clean it off, and put it in a Ziploc bag. And the reason for that is that it's already ready for the marinade to dump in and marinate already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stir the marinade here. Which actually now seems like it might not be enough, so I might have to add more lemon juice in there, which will happen later. And I can basically just scoop everything into the bag and basically mix it in there. Make sure you get all the air out, and yeah, it's not going to be enough. I'm going to add some more lemon juice in here. Well, I figure I have some fresh lemons around that's organic, so I'm like, why not use the juice in there and actually use some of the skin for the essential oil content in there. Because why not, right? Squeeze out as much air as you can. At the end, of course, because you gotta make sure it seals. And here we have it. We got a marinade ready to go. Alright, so after marinating the chicken for about 4 hours, which ideally you want to marinate minimum 4 to 8 hours. You can probably even get away with 30 minutes, but 4 hours marination. I put it on here, and yeah, as you can see here, we're hitting 181 degrees internal temperature. The second here, it's degrees Fahrenheit. And for USDA safe chicken handling, I believe it's 165 for minimum. I personally like to get it to be about 175 because I just like the texture better. It's about 181. It might be a little overdone, I'm not sure, but generally I have good results. So now what I can do is I can open it, and as you can see, it's got a nice texture already on it. And generally speaking, I would actually take the probe out from it, and I would actually end up, if it's not brown like this already, I would flip it over and do a little more browning on the hot side for direct heat. But already, as you can see, it's smoked to perfection. I think we're done here. Alright guys, so you guys saw me be able to take my Mediterranean herbs of rosemary, sage, and oregano, and be able to come up with a marinade that actually helps reduce a little bit of carcinogens from smoked meat. And at the end, this is my smoked chicken that I was usually able to use the marinade on. And I mean, it tastes great. I think, I mean, I'll bother eat it for a minute with my wife. and it might be a little under salted, but that's something you can add on, and you can basically figure it out as you cook. So hopefully that gave you guys an idea of what to get started with your Mediterranean herb garden and how that can help your health and get something delicious out of it. Now with that said, guys, keep gardening, and this time also keep cooking and keep vibing. Let's go.